Adam fixed the rigging. Like it's actually usable now for what we're doing. So yeah, there it is. RG hit body rect 1. L there, module name is that. Pivot is body rect. Now looking through. That's the only place we would print out the module name? That's not true. Alright, so found our group. Yeah, this is all just garbage old, isn't it? We need new. Clear log. We need the R idle. Or the R idle. Yeah, so the issue here is I need to find out how to convert this phys body rect back into that like phys body rect underscore 1. The problem is the phys body rect underscore 1 has more information than phys body rect. What that means is we can turn phys body rect underscore 1 into phys body rect, but we can't go the other way around, and of course the information that we don't have is what exactly we need. We need the more information, not the less. So we're scanning through the layer. So we've got the node name. So layer to node. Can we get anything about that node? Can we get more information as the node? Timeline layer to node. Turns node associated with the layer or the empty string. If layer is node, otherwise if layer is column. Alright, so we want to double check anything and everything we can about this layer. So layer is node. We have a layer number. We want to get the information about that. So let's see if it's a column. We can do layer to column. So like if timeline.layer is column. that has anything good in it. Aha! It is! My instincts were correct. We may have found our Rosetta Stone in order to get that lost information back. And it lies in the spaces between space. So, what is it saying? It says scanning through layer pivot. It is a pivot. Yeah, this layer, which is a node, is also a column. That column is called RG pivot 4. So if we look through this guy, we'll see RG pivot 4 is an element here. And that RG pivot 4, there's the exposures right frickin' there. So what we need to do is in our export script, what we're going to do is we're going to, like, we've got this like loaded object map here. And it goes from like most specific to least specific. And what we want to do is we want to look for that specific thing. So actual node name is all of this other crap. So what we want to do is if loaded object is null, then object is this, and we're going to set this to null, and we're going to say if node name is not equal null, then we're going to try to set loaded object to the node name after our lookup. And what we're going to do is find our node name. So basically, if it's a column, we're gonna do var node name. No, this should be column name, and we're gonna set that to null to start with. And if the layer is a column, then we're gonna set column name to this guy. And let's just have a message log right here. Found object with name, column name, label object. So what that should do is fix this thing. Or it immediately crashes. Can't find variable. Column name. So that happens when you misspell column because you can't type because you're stupid like me. Something else messed up. Error. Message log is not a function. Expression. Message. Yeah. Message log is not a function. Message log is an object. Message log.trace is a function. So what happens? You switch like every frickin' language over and over. Rendering frames for resolution game. Let's see it work. And it rendered all the frames, even though we don't want them. So it found the new object RG pivot 4. Like physics direct 1. But we didn't get the exposures off of it. Why not? Why not? We need those exposures. So we found it, so loaded object. Well, I didn't actually see if, so if, loaded object equals, does not equal null. Else. Did not find new object. And what we'd like to do is where this object map is created. So load object map from the next stage file. Is there a link on... Alright, well, we'll just leave that there real quick. Getting close, we're almost there. Almost. Alright, so we added all these objects. Yeah, see we're adding RG pivot 1. And we found... we got RG pivot 4. We found the new object, RG pivot 4. So it totally exists. Now the question is, Why is it still messed up? So we've got the exposures right here. So loaded object is not null, so we're not going to go here, we're not going to go here. Let's just double check all these things. So it's going to be from exposure start exposure. The last actual object for rigging determines the number. So the loaded object is this map. What is the object type? It's pivot, rect, rect. Yeah, well, supposedly it's there. Ah, screwed up. Bastard. So we found RG rig pivot 4 from 1 to 15. So why isn't it working? It should totally be working. They're laughing at me. Alright, so So is the exist map getting set properly? I mean, supposedly yes. 1 to 15. And we can't just breakpoint through this stuff because it's all running inside of. Percent key minus 1. So if object type does not equal null for this thing. Maybe something else got screwed up. It's like we're skipping like all this stuff for some frickin' reason. Because I don't see my trace messages. Alright, so we're actually getting to the object. And the exist map is there. So for key in exist map. So there's nothing in the exist map? Well, let's just start messing with stuff and see what we can do. Object undefined. Undefined yet again. So, what is going on here? This exists map. Okay, so we've got the exposures, but something else is messed up. We've got exposure start and exposure end. This is just weird. Is that really true? So we should be printing out a lot more than this. The map for one is true. This is like the boring, tedious part of game development where you're like, why doesn't it work? Why is my life a living hell? And then you realize you actually enjoy this. And then you realize there's something wrong with you, not something wrong with the world. I don't understand what's going on here, so oh, freaking hell. Exposure start and exposure end. Alright, so this column name, so searching through column was loaded column name. Alright, so we're scanning through. Alright, so I was actually getting the wrong numbers here. So we're searching through column RG pivot 4. We're adding it from -1 to -1. So we have no frickin' clue what RG pivot 4 is. And the reason exposure start and exposure end were working earlier is because of some other bullshit that I threw in there and I had a bug, so no wonder I was hitting a wall. I was looking at the wrong crap. So the question is, we've got RG pivot 4 and we are looking through element sequences, and here's what's going on. Here's why I'm not insane. It's because this little bastard right here is not an element sequence. It's a freaking scene sequence. And no wonder I didn't see it, because my eye is like, oh, it ends in sequence. It's the same crap, right? Right? No, wrong. You're wrong. I'm wrong. No, I'm right. Whatever. Anyway, so what we're basically going to do here is, this is kind of a hacky piece of crap, but if element segments, like we got element segments.count here, so if element segments.count is equal to 0, then we're going to try setting element segments to column.get scene sequence. And if we find that, then we're going to use that. So I'm betting this will work. That looked like we actually got the information that we wanted. There we are. Yeah, RG Fizz Body Rect exists on these frames. Setting in frame to 3. RG Pivot exists on this thing. On frame 14. Yes. Alright. There we go. There we go. We've solved the puzzle. So now let's remove all of that debugging crap. And why don't we just render this little guy out? See how he looks. Alright, looks like we got 15 frames rendered out. Now let's go double check him. In fat sack. Whoops. Alright, there it is. So we got all our frames as we would expect, and we only have 15 of them as we would expect. We have our pivot point. It exists at the correct location. It looks like we've got our Fizz Body Rect. So, I was just explaining to Adam what the hell happened. And then, yeah, you can see our heights and all these things are totally jacked up. Like, Fat Sack is not 4,800 units tall. And he is not 0 width. So something's totally screwed with our with our stuff here. So let's go find out why the hell our rigging is messed up with its sizes. Because this should not be crazy town. It should be normal town. So let's with this. This somehow doesn't seem right. So if we have scale X, we're setting our width, and we're setting our height. Should we be setting our width to the Z position? That seems just wrong, doesn't it? Like, what the hell is width scalar? It's the cosmological constant times scene resolution divided by units. And we're gonna have to change the cosmological constant to something sane, I think. So let's double check this guy. If you're wondering what the cosmological constant is, this is the constant by which you can convert Toon Boom units into reality. Because Toon Boom units are not reality. Our width is still frickin' 0. Why? So, let's just double check. And we should be able to find, what's the scale X? It's just scale X, so not a problem there. These things actually have scale X on them. Like I see scale X there on the pivot, and that is supposed to be set to 1. Body rect is set to 0.6. Scale X is set to 1. But it doesn't have a keyframe, you see that? There is no scale X in there. So it's probably that our X scale needs to default to 1. So I'm gonna need to put that in there. It's always something in these damn things. Yeah, found scale Y, it's set to 0.6. I don't see any findings for scale X, so scale X needs to be set by default. So what we need to do is F equals the frames here. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to set both to the width, height, and the radius. No, because the value here is set, so we need cur export objects in frames dot. And we're going through every single thing, and the display name for every layer. column, we're looking for this. If we are going from j equals 0 to j equals the number of frames for the current export object. So we're grabbing it, and the display name is the display name of the column. So what we need to do is see where we inject frames just to begin with. Yeah, so we're pushing it up here on my export object frame. So what we're going to need to do is set, where's height scaler and width scaler? They do exist. So we just need to set these guys right here. And basically the value is going to be 1, so we're just doing 1.0. So everything's defaulted to 1 when it's created. And these will override them based on the keyframes in those frames when they encounter them. Let's see if that's actually true. So the width is there, the height is there. That looks correct to me. So we now need to do it. So I think what Adam did was he made these objects 1/100th the size of what they were, so I can just change the Cosmo constant from 189 to 1.89, and theoretically we can export FATSAC back at the proper resolution. So it looks like FATSAC is 48 pixels high and 24 tall. Let's go ahead and export all the FATSAC animations. Exceeded timeout, line 550. It's always something. be zeroing in on useful. Alright, 271 frames for this guy. Let's go take a look at what it looks like. Alright, back to Unreal, where we can actually read the code and step through things. We're going to try to import Fatsack all over again and see if he blows up on the seams. So we're going to turn off our source control real quick to do this. Let's get Fatsack imported. Alright, so let's go take a look at what he looks like. Still looks like a little Fatsack, doesn't it? Let's check a look at his collision. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right either. So why is it wrong? Maybe we change some names. So let's take a look at the things that look wrong. The run idle looks wrong. This is the run idle, it is the roll flipbook. Is this thing actually called roll in Toon Boom? It's S-roll. S-roll is not roll. So we should have an S-roll in here. Yeah, we got an S-roll. And we've also got a roll. Roll is all sorts of screwed up. So what we need to do is go into S-roll. Which makes me think of sushi rolls. And we throw that in there, and that looks correct. And stationary air rise. So let's go to air rising, stationary animations. That is Air 1 flipbook. Air 1 has been changed, hasn't it? It's now S Air. Which makes me think what I should do is actually delete the whole damn thing. All of this, all these pieces of content. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say goodbye Fatsack data. Chunk that out of there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete everything inside of the animations folder. Goodbye, old Fatsack animations that are busted as hell. Yeah, Fatsack sushi. I'm getting hungry just talking about this roll animation. What's wrong with me? So these animations are getting toasted. We'll re-import Fatsack and rebuild a few of those. We changed all sorts of naming conventions, and Fatsack's kind of the test character who gets deleted and messed with the most. He's also the most durable, so you can take it, right? Let's get this guy. Re-import. Oh yeah, he's all angry as hell. It's like, no, you can't. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so yeah, guess to all, blow him away. Watching progress bars. My favorite activity. Not a problem. So clean that up. Come on now. Unloading, yeah. Okay, cool. So now what we do is we re-import that guy. Well, good. Everybody should watch progress bars. It's part of being alive. Ah, crap. We need to do a little bit more than just this. Let's get rid of all these things. I need to also toast the toast all of these. Let me do both. So we're gonna re-export because we had a whole bunch of garbage in our import folder. So we're gonna rebuild that import folder. We gotta watch this progress bar all over again. So we're just waiting on Harmony to spit out all of its animations here. Alright, we got that chewed out. And yeah, it's just because we changed all the names. If we hadn't changed the names, this guy's real easy to re-import, and it updates all the references and all that. So, like, Fatsack still exists. He's just blank. So let's add back the animations that we need here properly. So we are going to want the stationary idle. When let's call it S idle. This walk is going to look like W idle? Yeah, W idle. Look at that, collisions actually did. Alright. So we need trot here, which is going to be the R idle. And then we're going to throw in that roll just because we like to roll around. And then we need air rising and fall. So that's falling. And why don't we throw one more in here under special. Special. Let's add that little guy. Alright, well, that's that. So now we're going to turn source control back on. And reconcile that whole directory. Alright, and let's also, what is this? Is Fat Sack still open? Let's close him. And let's go double check that our export is working on one of the other characters.